Hey, good morning everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss Pre-Market Report for Thursday, December 7th, 2017. I'm Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Here's a look at the daily time frame of the ES. You see we've had the upward sloping trend here. Everything's been going up. One thing to keep in mind is the previous month's high rejected right out of the gate. Prices above the previous month's close are rejected. And now you're starting to see prices above the previous session's high being rejected in a short-term down move. That failure to hold above the previous session's high could be another indication of weakness to come. So be very, very cautious here. If price cannot maintain acceptance above the previous session's high here of 26.34.5, we could be looking at more lows back toward 2600. I mentioned before in this trigger zone, 2605, 2600, that's going to offer another opportunity here for bulls to perhaps reject recent lows and return it back toward highs. Otherwise, failure to hold 2600 opens up more weakness ahead, likely toward 2540. Let's take a look here at crude oil. Crude oil had quite the sell-off in the previous session. It had everything it needed to bounce a little bit here after pushing right into 56.25, but failed and started to push lower some more. This is another big down day that we've seen, very similar to some of these we've seen within this uptrend in the past. Digestion days usually lead to more strength after that weakness, and that's what we're seeing right now. Another digestion day that could lead to another round of strength to these new highs. But again, one thing to keep in mind that we talked about before: if price was not able to hold 56.25, for the most part, bounce back above that point, then you're likely going to come back and test these lows. So this is a point right here where normally you can see it looks just like this one where it rallies, it looks just like this one where it rallies, and now we're forming that pattern again. Do we get another round of strength, or do we come test this low? We got to let today build out and see how it goes here. Typically, digestion like this will start to tell us direction once we start to break that range in the upcoming session. Here's a look at the NQ. Very similar to the ES. You got to be careful with the NQ right now. You got this high sell off, then you get this high at 63.90 sell off, and now you're getting a failed new high above the previous session's range. So yesterday's high here, 63.07. Today price gets up as high as 63.27.5 and is now back below 63.07 at 63.05. So again, failure to hold above a previous session high can be very, very bearish and can lead to another round of weakness. This thing has more juice down into 61.50, perhaps 61.40, and then you could see a big dose of buying come in if you don't see the lift off the zone. So again, failure to hold above the previous session's high, you got to be cautious if you're a bull right now. Lastly, let's take a look at gold. We talked about gold before. We got the big move right back to value. We had a tight day here. The stops came out to the downside. And that's what I mentioned. It's either going to come up here and grab a high, or it's going to come find a low. And now that you're getting this aggressive move, any rejection could lead price right back to value, 20.80.5. So right now, we're still in a downward price discovery phase. Here's the previous low of the key range. We're now below that. So if there's any failure to hold below 62.80 over the next couple of days, say we trade down here and then we pop back above it, that could be a quick move back to 12.80 and perhaps even back to 1300. So that's what we're looking for here. Still got to be patient on gold. All right, that's it for now. Let's see how this thing plays out heading into the rest of the session. Good luck and trade well.